My name is Biraima. I am my final year of high school. I am super excited. I am part of Daily Dose of Blackness, a bunch of activists, community organizers, leaders, and brothers, sisters, and friends and family.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. And what about you, Vanessa?
My name's Vanessa. I'm in my last year of high school as well. I'm also in DDB. I used to write a lot for our website, and now I also participate in some YouTube videos and some of our podcasts. I think in 2018, that Black History Month, we wanted to do something like our schools didn't really done anything, and so we thought this is the year that we're actually gonna do something big. And so we all kind of got together and we just kind of started to plan it and stuff. And then that was kind of like the birth of DDB. And we kind of, as Rima said, we ventured off into our own organization and such. And we started making like multimedia projects like YouTube, podcasts, a website as well.
But still, we still tie it back of how all of us meeting at school and all of us wanting to do something for Black History Month. That's how we all came together, and like that's how it naturally started. Just our chemistry was there, and we're like, we want to do something, so we all took it by storm and stuff. So that's how it kind of happened, you could say, from like a sense of wanting to belong and wanting a sense of community. And it's helped us a lot tremendously. It's like it's a total confidence booster.
Well, you know what? I tell you something. I've been thinking I really like the way you young brothers and sisters are taking the movement. I mean, you're not putting up with any nonsense. I'm not saying that you're going out there and jumping on the wagon train, and I don't mean that, but I like the way that you're taking that no nonsense attitude. And my generation was different, right? Because we were still apprehensive, a little bit, probably scared. And
Something I want to highlight, let us not all struggle in pain, and torture, and obviously the big one when, especially in a school setting, like if I'm sitting down in a classroom and Black history is mentioned, obviously it just heads to slavery and enslaved people, and I feel like I really want to steer ourselves as a society away from that, even though it is important and needs to be talked about, but still, like, there's some parts of us that need to be highlighted, like the excellence, the joy, the beauty, the contributions, and our and just like our past and like how we came to be in the present, and like, so yeah, that's a big one for me. How about you, Vanessa?
Yeah, very similar as well. Like I feel like around Black history, a lot of people think like we just want pity, we just want apologies, but that's not it. We really need just to like highlight all the Black excellence that was all hidden in the Black history of all the suffering. I think just the most important part is just to like highlight it. There's a lot of people, especially in school, we do Black history. It's all these like about pain and suffering, all these super sad stories, and it's important, very important to recognize that. But as well, you have to find the hidden gems, and you have to just show that as well in the Black history.
yeah,
And also, like, one thing to add, highlighting more Black Canadians, to me, that's a big one too, because when obviously we talk about Black history, it's a lot of, in Canada, when we talk about Black history, it's a lot of, it's mostly based in the USA, like what they talk about, and I feel like it's on the right track, but just not so much on the tracks because I do live in Canada and it'd be nice to learn about more Canadian historical Black figures instead of learning about the American ones, like obviously the ones that we all know, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Um, so yeah, that'd be a really big one for me, and like really getting it ingrained into the school system so that it's not, again, curiosity is fine. That of course I'm curious. If I want to search something up, I can do it, but just having it so that it's everyone knows and everyone's learning and everyone's gaining more information on the topic, so we can all reflect and learn how we can move past this and grow would be really beneficial to me. And the people coming before me. So yeah. So yeah.
And I like what you both said. You know, I again, I guess not to deviate from what you said. You know, the fact that I'm here, the fact, Vanessa, that you're here, and Biraima, that you're here, um, you know, I feel like, you know, my ancestors, although they went and, you know, I'll talk about my own family. My own family were enslaved. They were enslaved on both sides. And in fact, the plantation where my mother's side is still standing as a tourist attraction in a place called Fairfield, South Carolina. It's the northern part of the state, and it's a tourist attraction. I'm in contact with these people, and was invited to go down to look at the plantation, but emotionally, I'm not really ready to see it. My great grandfather was a carriage driver for the plantation down there. But the reason why I talk about them is because it is sad, and it was brutal. The brutality of slavery in the Americas was terrible. But they trailblazed a path for me to sit here and to talk to you. And I'll never forget that. You know, you always have to you have to always respect the people that came before you. And Brahma, I get it, what you said. And Vanessa, I really get it, because it's brutality of it. Like, you know, people are always, oh, it's so bad, it's this, that, and the other. And I get it, but I don't want to forget them either, because what they went through is now I get here to sit here and talk to you. And, you know, this film that I produced, you know, I promised a family that I would do this. And this is a picture here. I want to show you this picture. That's a picture of Sylvia Stark's grave. Sylvia Stark was born a slave, and she ended up going across the Oregon Trail, went to California, landed in Victoria, and she died on Salt Spring Island at 104. That's her grave. I wanted to show you a picture of that. And so the people that come before us, I don't want to ever forget them. You know, they spilt their blood. They spilt everything. Yeah. And yet, you know, we have to look at, like Biraima says, that we have to look at, you know, the contributions of a lot of Black Canadians that are still untold, you know, and, you know, it's still untold, a lot of the stories. I mean, we just got the woman on the $10 bill that was denied access to a movie theater, and she's finally getting her just dues. She's a real kind of a civil rights martyr. But, you know, and we can't forget those people either. And it's just important. But yet, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things we talked about in history class the other day was knowing your history. And my teacher was saying that he didn't really get the chance to talk to his father about his history and stuff before he passed. And I was just thinking about that, like with my dad. My dad is originally from Trinidad. He was born in Canada, but his heritage is from Trinidad as well. And we've actually never like talked down. I mean, we never sat down and talked together about like his heritage and culture. We kind of just spoke a little bit, but we never got deep into the rich culture. And I think the biggest thing with Black youth is just understanding your history and not being ashamed of it. Because in the beginning, I was kind of like, I didn't really know much. I had to do a lot of research myself. And being a part of DDB, that has really helped a lot, hearing stories from Biraima and my other friends as well, as they have such a rich culture. And I didn't really get that a lot when I was younger. So I think my biggest goal as well is just getting Black youth to understand their history and not being ashamed of it as well.
Well, you know, I tell you, Biraima and Vanessa, I like to thank you both giving up your time. I know as students, you know, you got homework to do and you got your families to go home to, and to give up your afternoon to talk to me. I greatly I greatly appreciate it, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. I just wanted to tell you both like that, and I'll be rooting for you. Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure talking to you from the moment BCOHRC reached out and I watched the video. I was totally excited and engaged. I was super ready. So thank you for giving your time to us.
Yeah, I also want to say thanks a lot. Like I stated earlier, I don't really talk to my dad about this stuff. I don't really have a lot of family on my black side to talk about this stuff with. So seeing your video and talking with you about this has really, really been special to me. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.